Hello, Internet.
I can only count
YouTube video for that song and sent it to my wife.
It's so good.
Then-
I watched the
who
longer
then-
version. It's
Yeah, I did too. And she promptly texted me back saying, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And it's like, it's not me this time.
Hey, that's not unfair.
I sent it to a buddy of mine in England, and his response was, "Fuck you. This is going to be in my head for 6 days. Thank you."
Yep.
It's like, yeah, me too.
You're welcome.
In my head for 6 days. It's so good.
All right.
That's another good
live.
song right there.
Is it?
For kids,
I don't know.
it is.
I like Moana. I like that movie a lot.
You do or don't.
I do. I think Moana's good.
Oh,
So, you know,
oh
as
I was gonna
discussed in our production meeting.
That's right.
I was gonna say too. I did because now that I know The Rock owns it, I did try a couple of those Zoa Monster or energy drinks.
Oh, yeah.
That he has out there. They're okay.
I'll have to try
They're
one.
not horrible.
Next time I go to Target, I'll have to see if
I
I'd
tried
there are some.
pineapple coconut one, and there was like a peach one that I don't remember
Ooh.
what it was, and they were all right.
Nice.
Okay. I don't know if I want to fund the Rock's run for presidency by buying these things, but okay. You laugh, but you know it's true.
No, yeah. Oh man, I don't know. All right,
We weren't going to get political, Moon. Okay.
That's right.
Please.
I'm
If
also
the Rock
watching.
becomes president, I don't know what to do anymore. Don't get me wrong. He'll be a better president than TLG, but you know,
Right.
we'll see.
His campaign speeches will be dope.
Do you smell what the president is cooking?
That's right. He
Like,
waves his
the
hand in front of his
SmackDown-
face.
That's John Cena, asshole.
I could
I know that
picture
was
it
big.
just fine.
Some Triple
Yeah.
H reference.
Because the only thing I could think of when he said that was that, oh yeah, so when he goes, when he decides that he's not going to let a bill pass, he's just going to do that and just light the paper on fire.
Vetoed. Woo!
Yeah.
Lay the SmackDown on like Congress ass. You know, the
right.
usual. You mentioning John Cena did make me laugh though, because he did there was a parent who was dealing with a non-verbal autistic child, I think it was,
Mm-hmm.
who lived in Ukraine,
Mm-hmm.
who obviously doesn't like change, and
Sure.
part of change can make it hard for children like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they left Ukraine and started heading west, and the reason she gave to her child was because they were going to go and meet John Cena,
Ah, sure.
because he is obsessed with John Cena.
Right.
Well, John Cena found out about it, had a day off work, and then flew out and met them. And I was
That's
like,
dope.
cool.
He seems like an
go do
alright
this,
guy.
because he does. I hate him, but he seems like a good guy.
Hey, if there's one wrestler it's okay to hate, it's Hulk Hogan.
Dude, there's more than one, but yes, that's definitely one of them.
Top
Also,
of the
fuck
list.
Lex Luthor.
That's right.
There's a poster child
Sorry, Lex
for hate.
Luger. Lex
That's right.
Luger is the other one.
Vince McMahon.
But no,
clearly.
like, and there was a video that circulated online about his trip to in anything at all. The comments were like, "Well, he didn't meet anybody. Why are they showing this video where he doesn't meet anybody?
Right.
Because you can't see him." And he was on the Graham Norton show and was like, "Yeah, there'll be a section of people who respond to to this video, asking why there's nobody sitting here on the couch."
Right.
Because people are crazy. Wrestling fans are weird. And I'm fine with that. It's great. It's a fun joke.
Yeah. But also, if there's 50 other people in the Twitter thread that are making that joke, you don't need to make it too.
Yeah.
It's already been covered. You're fine.
Uh-huh.
We only need one.
Yeah. 100%.
Watching my dropped
and done.
frames increase. This is fun.
Oh, yeah, you hitched like a motherfucker for a couple of seconds right there.
Great. Love it. What great timing.
Yep.
Oh, man. All right. Okay, well, are you guys ready to get started? At the
Sure.
very least, let me start a background recording of this. If it keeps kicking up a fuss, I'll just stop the live stream and we'll just upload the raw video. Okay. All right, let's get started here in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me, as always, is Moonpeer.
Hi.
And the Nimp.
Hello.
Patreon.com/E1M1.
Those ones are numericals.
That's right. If you want to... I feel like we mention it every week, but the thing that I recommend you get the patron for, the early access is great. The exclusive production meetings are super good. We just recorded another one that turned out really well, and of course was well over an hour long. But man, every week's Outcast continues to be really good. That's the uncensored, unscripted kind of... We talk about everything that isn't video games on that. We had an entire sort of redneck engineering section where the words "a solid mass" was uttered. So if you want to hear some creative problem solving, you can.
People are not going to want to listen to because that immediately takes my.
This week's one is especially. They're always good because we're just kind of hanging out and doing our thing. But this week's one is especially good. So you can get all of that over at patreon.com/E1M1.
Ones and numbers.
And the $5 tier is the recommended one. That gets you everything. All of the things. You can get it. All for you. Moon, what have you been playing this past week?
So, a little behind the scenes here. We all had a very brief conversation in our host's dedicated channel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Newsom. And it was pretty much like, yeah, we've all had a bit of a weird week this week, and also, the world. So I only have two things to talk about this week.
Okay.
And one, I'm sure Nimp is very sad that he missed out on. So very, very sad. Because unlike
Was this
the rest
involving
of us,
the text message?
yes. Unlike the rest of us, he was asleep while we were all having fun.
Well, okay, let's phrase this better. It was 12 a.m. and I apparently got a text message saying, "Hey, do you want to play?" To which he got a text message back at 9 a.m. saying, "No, I was asleep."
No, and also, how did you get my number?
Yes. The hilarious thing is, I think my hands were busy when it was being discussed. So I was talking to Rob through party chat, and I was like, "You could just text him for me, can't you?" I was like, "Wait, no, you probably don't have his telephone number."
Right.
I do.
Right.
I don't. Okay, never mind. I'll text him in a little bit. But yes,
Which
we
is
played
weird
Dying
because
Light.
I was gonna say, normally, Saturday nights, probably I still would have been up, but this past week I was like, "No, man, I'm tired." I think I went to bed at like 8,
I'm just going to
7,
bed
something
for
like that. Yeah.
Oh,
I was.
Yeah, I mean, I think I sent you the message at 11. I was in bed by 12:15, because my body is aching. I'm old and falling apart, and I did a lot of manual labor this week, so go away. But no, so we played some Dying Light.
Nice.
I think you knew this, Nymph. I think you've already played it, right?
I haven't played all the way through it.
Okay.
But the last time I left off, we had just finished that arena thing.
Yes.
And I have no clue where in the game we are.
We're about 50% of the way through. So minor spoiler alert for you, Nymph, which I'm sure I think we discussed while we were playing the game. Like we care about the story in that game at all in the first place.
That's not what we're there for.
No. It 100% pulls a Dead Island, and there is a second zone.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we've actually been discussing that when we had played last time, too. That I think it was Rob was saying he remembered there being a second area to go to.
Wild.
But he didn't know if that was DLC or not.
So, yeah, it's not. It's part of the main zone. And it's like, come on, please.
Is it just as big?
Yeah, it looks like it. I'm trying to beat this game so I could play the second game.
Right.
That's the point of me playing it.
Yeah.
And by the time I get to the second game, there's going to be as much extra content in there as there is in this game right now. So minor, you might want to play it this week, by the way, at some point.
I was going to say, so my goal is to get to the next area then?
Yeah.
Let me know when you're playing it. I will jump in with you because your save progress will then take over the thing. So we can jump in and do that.
Okay.
Because then if I jump into your hosted game, you'll still be at the same place, which is literally, we did like 2 missions. I think that was it. because we spent about 20 minutes running around being like, so what's attack again? What's jump? How
do I shoot
do
the
you
things?
crouch?
Well, because jump is what, right bumper?
Of course.
Yeah, it's
Jump
like
is
the
right.
weirdest thing ever.
The old bumper
The
jumper.
mirror's edge controls, except instead of just running and jumping, you also have to, shoot, kick, slide,
Yeah.
fire weapons. The amount of times that Rob accidentally... There's an ambush scene where a bunch of Raj's men ambush you, and they all have guns. So Rob pulls out his gun, and because it has a gun in it, he pulls the left trigger to look down sights. Except the left trigger is the grappling hook.
Yeah.
Whee!
So he grapple hooks himself right into a crowd of people instead of aiming down sights.
Perfect. I love it.
There is an event going on right now, which apparently they do every year, called Summer Madness. And it's the thing they do where they give you overpowered kicks and punches.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
And I don't mean a little overpowered.
You're kicking people into the sun?
Yeah, yeet overpowered is how it goes.
That sounds great.
Like, when you do that run and drop kick, you will just send people sailing into the sunrise. It's hilarious.
That's great.
So part of the challenge is a community goal or whatever, and if you complete like 200 kills or something, 200 fist-based kills and 200 taking off buildings-based kills.
Okay.
You get a gold-tiered weapon for however many of them you do. And if the community hits a certain goal, you also get 3 gold weapons.
Oh, wow.
So it's a little crazy right now, where like you literally run into a crowd of people, just punch them, and they go flying off to the side. Don't mess with the volatiles at night still. That's my pro tip, because they will still mess you up so quick. It's unbelievable. But we were running around, jumping off people's heads, the usual goodness.
Kicking people into the moon. No big deal.
Yes, people often kick people into me. I can't help that. I'm just that big. There was a lot of you want to see these hands references getting thrown around. Because why not?
Yeah.
It still looks great. And I had a 25 gig update, which I think puts it to the Series X thing.
Why?
But the worst thing is there's like 90 pieces of DLC. So it's one of those things where it's like, I'm going to aim for as close to the base 1000 as I can get, because that's what I do.
Right.
So I'm fine running around doing side missions and whatever, because I know Nymph probably doesn't want to sit there and do every single side quest. I know Rob definitely doesn't want to sit there and do every single side quest.
Dude, I played Xenoblade. All right,
I don't mind with
doing
like
the side
400.
quests. It's usually you guys who mind that I tagged along because you're like, could you use something else besides a gun? I'm like, huh?
Yeah, you can't hear us because you're deaf from the noise of the guns.
I can't hear you over being awesome.
Fun.
But no, it's fun, it's stupid, it's hilarious. I'm enjoying every single part of it. And again, that game is like 6 years old and still looks better than most games released today.
Especially for an open world game.
Yeah, it's insane how good that game is.
I'm
worried. I'm worried now because I really want to go back and play it, but I also don't want to burn myself out on playing that kind of game to get to the second one, and then play 2 minutes of it and be like, okay, I'm done.
Right.
But if we do it right, we can just ease into the second one, and it's like we never finished the first one.
That's right.
Yeah, just slide in. Slide.
That's right.
Why don't you want to go home, Survivor? Why don't you want to go home?
Right.
It's fine. It's fun. It's whatever. It's stupid. I don't care about the people. I met a guy looking after children wearing a wizard hat. So
perfect.
Sure, why not? And apparently he's in a building which is like called the Magical Kindergarten or something. It's like,
sure.
Yeah, exactly. That face Nimp just pulled that you can't hear is exactly how it was a head shaker. Huh?
Because on the surface it sounds fine, but then you really stop to think about it. It's like, man, there's probably some messed up stuff happening.
Yeah. Some zombies up in there.
Even better, he's a gunsmith.
No, of course he
Oh,
is.
so he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yes, apparently. But no, it's stupid. It's fun. Whatever. The good news is I know a good side quest for you, because I got a orange tier handgun. Which, if we do the side quest again, I'm just saying you'll get yourself an orange tier handgun.
There you go.
I'm down for something. Does it catch things on fire?
I don't know yet. I don't.
We can probably modify it.
I
Yeah.
haven't used it because I'm not a long range person like you are. You big weirdo.
It's not even a long range. How many times have you seen me jump into a crowd of zombies in that game and just start shooting?
Pistol whipping him.
You're more close range. Even with firearms, you do it. You're the quintessential reason why the front of the double barrel shotguns got sawn off after a while. That's you. You're like, no, I'll take the short version, thanks. No, it's fun. It's stupid. It's hilarious. I'm going to continue playing it again. Continue playing it. Hopefully, when I have more time, because there is a lot going on in my life right now. But it's good to. I was more concerned about sitting down and playing it for a short amount of time, and I realized that doesn't really matter because I don't care about anyone in the story. I don't care about the survivor, whatever his name is, Crane, I think. I don't know. I don't care about him. I don't care about the other runners. I don't care about the survivors. I'm literally just there to Mario jump off zombie heads. That's all I'm there for. So I'm fine with playing it in like hour bursts and then being done with it.
I don't even think I can give you a single name of a character in that game. But no, I can give you scenarios like the guy who blew himself up with a wall of fire. That was funny.
I remember that guy. Don't know his name.
Yeah.
I know Raj. That's it. And
unfortunately,
it's not Raj Al Ghul. It's Raj, the guy who chops people's arms off, apparently.
Oh, the boss dude that we did the one job for?
Yes.
Okay. We need his gun. Apparently his gun is really good.
That's the gun I got that I was just talking about.
Nice. Okay.
It's a date.
I didn't know that. Just like, okay, I'm just going to call out the thing that I'm hitting around. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
And it's a pistol, so I can get rid of all my German 9mm now. I'm going to avoid making a comment on that comment. My other game this week, and my final game this week, was TMNT Shredder's Revenge.
Hey,
Me too.
Hey!
I played a lot of it. Played a lot of it this week.
My son and I blew through the whole story.
Yeah.
I played 2 games a lot this week, and one I'm not going to talk about until next week in a separate show entirely. Because
something maybe about we're rogueliking them?
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, TMNT is kind of amazing. And
it's really good.
I come at this from the side of a person who does not care about the original arcade game. I don't.
Sure.
I don't care about the Simpsons arcade game. I don't care about the TMNT arcade game. I just don't care.
Yeah.
Because I never had that nostalgia with them. But it's a side-scrolling beat-em-up that plays really well, and it was released this year, so it's like, cool, I will give it a shot, and like, crap, does it play really well.
The introduction of when you hit the B button to do like the backflip, that's such a huge improvement. Yeah. Well, yeah, you can use it to do a dodge roll too, but like even just being able to like you hit a boss a couple times and he starts winding up, and you just hit a backflip and just whoop right out of the way, like such a huge improvement.
It's because eventually you get like a double jump. That's helpful.
Yep.
Who did you guys main as?
Leo, because he was the default selection.
Okay. I have played so far as I've maxed out Michelangelo, and I'm playing as Raphael right now. It's actually way more fun than I thought it was going to be.
I'm playing as Master Splinter.
Okay.
My son is playing as Leonardo.
Okay.
And
I like the fact that we have all avoided the meme joke, which was anybody who's played this before plays as Donatello the first time through. It's like none of us did.
So what's funny is when my wife and I played through, I play as Leonardo and she picked Donatello. Donatello is actually really interesting because his whatever they call the super attack, I don't really care. His super attack is like this giant purple dome that traps enemies inside and does a bunch of damage all at once.
Nice.
So he's really good.
Yeah, when we were playing, I didn't realize that you would get like character upgrades.
Yep.
Yeah, because they
So-
level up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which they don't really tell you, which is fine because you just
Mhm.
kind of figure it out just paying attention. But we had figured out that, okay, when you do a taunt, that charges up your little energy bar.
Special,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, and then we figured out about the leveling because all of a sudden, like, he had like 2 energy bars and I only had 1 still, and my
Mhm.
health was
Yeah.
more than his, and stuff like that. And then we started getting like all these different moves and stuff, which it wasn't anything in depth, but like you were saying with the back step and the back flip,
Hmm.
where it's like you just all of a sudden realize like, oh, I can do this now.
Yeah, I can get out of the way for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, the backstep super move is really good. Like,
It's very
everybody
strong.
I've seen it, and it's so good.
Mhm. Well, and you can do some, when you're playing with more than one player, you can do some really cool stuff that you're on opposite sides of the enemy and you attack at the same time. Like, for when my wife and I were playing, both turtles turned around and hit the enemy with the shell at the same time and like did a bunch of extra damage. It's like, that's cool. You didn't need to do that in this game, but that's cool.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of weird secrets in here that my son and I were
Mhm.
finding out. And then I also like the fact that they kept the 80s turtles in this.
Yes.
So you get the turtle van and the turtle blimp, which
Yep.
when I saw
Yeah.
that, I was laughing so hard in here because I'm like, that is still the dumbest thing ever,
Mhm.
and I still want
Look at
that
this,
toy.
look at this big blimp. Yeah,
Yeah.
With these 2 jet engines on the side of it. And
that's right.
So,
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
to test the matchmaking, I jumped into an arcade run.
Okay, I haven't played arcade yet.
It's basically just the levels from story mode with none of the interstitial stuff.
Okay,
It's the exact same levels.
sure.
So I jumped in on a party of 2.
Okay,
Very quickly became a party of 6.
incredible. I'm excited.
Nice.
I don't know. I still don't know what happened on that screen.
Chaos.
All I
Everyone
know
hitting
is
their specials at the same time.
That's right.
So you'll hear 6 people taunting, all one followed after the other, after the other, after the other to get the specials.
Hmm.
And then you'll hear 6 people firing their specials to the point where there's a big purple ball in the middle of the screen.
Yeah.
Then there's a big blue, like, spinning
blue
tornado in
tornado.
the middle of the screen. And then there's other things going on. And then you've got blue, like, shredders flying, blue splinters flying across the screen. It's just like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but things seem
Everything.
to be happening, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so much.
That's what my son and I would do too. Is we would use our supers throughout the thing, but then once we get to the because we were playing on 2 different consoles. He was playing on on an S, and I was playing on a Series X. What is that? A 1S out there? I forget what the old gen is, but anyway,
One of them.
yeah. So he would be charging up his special, and I'd be fighting the boss to just kind of distract him, and then we'd swap out. And then once both of us had our bars maxed out, we would all just get real close to the boss and just sit there and spam the special. You would just watch that health bar just drop.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Though the one thing I do like about when my wife and I were playing is you'd run into the like the single pizzas just to fill your health, and I liked every once in a while you'd run into the pizzas that for us were 2 pizzas together. It was like one long square pizza that healed both
Yeah,
of our
that's
health
good.
pools. I liked that a lot. Jimbo in chat says Casey Jones is a beast too once you unlock him. I started this game back over on PS5 because I wanted to have it on both platforms. And I just unlocked him, and I'm very excited to start playing as him because he seems very strong.
I hear that April O'Neil is actually the strongest character.
That's,
I have heard that, yeah.
I keep hearing that April is OP as hell. And how the hell do you unlock Casey? Because there is an achievement.
You just
for
beat
it,
the
so I
story
need to-
mode.
Yeah, you just beat story
Okay.
once.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not too bad. We'll
Yeah.
get into that eventually, I guess.
Yep.
With a 0.79% achievement unlock for
Is it the high
maxing out
five?
every single character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm working on that right now. That's why I'm playing as Michelangelo, because I'm like, well, let's just go through whatever one is the next one on the list. Here we go.
That's pretty much me too. I was like, I'm
Yep.
starting with Leo. We'll see how the feeling takes me after that fight.
Yep.
But no, it looks so good. Like, it's super
Yeah.
crisp. It's super clean.
Soundtrack's
I didn't
really
experience-
good.
Oh yeah.
Well, I know people are offended by the new remix of the theme. Who cares? Get over it.
The Wu-Tang, I think 2 people from Wu-Tang did a song in the game that's really good as well.
It's dumb. Oh, one downside: it does not have subtitles. Screw you, game. You should have subtitles.
I thought that was really weird. Especially like you could kind of comic book style that stuff in the cutscenes, and I'm surprised they don't have that in there. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but it to me it's a Tribute game, and Tribute has not made a bad game yet. They have that
it's not the best game in the world. It's just a Tribute.
That's right. They had that one Monster Hunter game that I kind of didn't like, but that wasn't really for me. Jimbo in chat says TMNT definitely scratched the Streets of Rage itch. It's kind of interesting because like you kind of have 2 sides of the same coin here, because I've been thinking about this a lot the last 2 weeks. Is that Streets of Rage 4 plays exactly how you would want a modern Streets of Rage to play. It's slower. The hits are harder. It feels like a little bit more of a weighty game.
Yeah, it feels like a beefy game.
Yeah, and Shredder's Revenge, you're like dashing across the screen and like diving everywhere. Supers are going off all over the place. Like you're doing 25 hit combos. Like it's nice that there are both styles of beat 'em up games out right now.
Well, I think you are right. I think it's like in the fact that it's a tribute game in the traditional sense as well, because that is reminiscent of the arcade scene. It's like, yeah, you've just got 4 people sitting at this cabinet and chaos and anarchy is happening, and people are just having a good time.
Yep. Yeah. It's really good.
Or you're my wife and daughter, and you're listening to me and my son yelling back and forth about things that don't make sense to you because you don't see what we're trying to figure out.
That's right. You're just hearing a turtle go, yeah.
Need to focus.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Again and again and again and again. By the way, there's an achievement in this game for beating Super Shredder without taking any damage. Just saying. What?
I got real close on my last run, and he does like this fire dash attack. Gets me every time.
Is that one where he's like basically going diagonal?
Yeah, he's like
across the map
ping-ponging.
Yeah.
Every time.
The only one that kept getting me was when he was doing the waves, when he was charging up.
Yeah.
Because I was still getting used to how the double jump was actually working, because it's a little off.
It is a little weird, yeah.
Yeah, so trying to jump past all of that, there's always like one of them that I missed. I was like, all right, whatever.
The boss fight drove me insane with that.
Yeah.
My son and I had figured out for that Rat King one, when he's sending the rats across, if you taunt at the right moment, you get an iframe for like the whole entire thing.
Oh wow, wild.
Yeah. And we're not entirely sure how, like, he hit it a couple of times and I hit it one time. So
wild. Yeah, I'm really happy this is on Game Pass, because I think more people need to play it. Honestly, I've been playing it a lot this week because you don't really have to use your brain. I can just go through and...
It's one of the reasons why I went to it so quickly.
Yeah.
The levels are so short that it's like you spend 5 minutes on it. It's like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I did. I beat it. Yay. I found some secrets. I did a couple challenges. I found
another newspaper or something. Yay.
Right. I found a disgusting bug. All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see... I think it was Nextline that we're talking about this, and Vinny was saying I think he was playing it with his kids, and then after they finished playing it, they immediately went and started watching the animated show, but not the old one.
Yeah, the current one
with the weird-looking turtles.
Oh man, that one's so good.
And it was like, well, congratulations, job done, marketing, that works.
That's right, you did it. Man. Yeah, game's great. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's really good. Really good. Give it a shot. If you want to jump in and play some stuff, let me know. I'm more than happy to jump in and beat some things with the turtles. I need to level up as well.
Yeah.
But yes, that's all I've been playing. Mr. Nim, take me to JRPG land as you always do.
Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot for it this week. I've got one game that I'll get to in a minute. But I did play Destiny 2 with my son.
Nice.
Because he is grinding for something.
The Queeness of the Witches?
Maybe, I don't know.
No, I just that's I feel like that sums
it up, yeah.
Yeah, that sums up Destiny 2, where it's like, I don't know, man, he's grinding for something.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter.
I think we did I think Friday we did probably 5 back-to-back strikes, and then Saturday afternoon we just did a bunch more. I now
Nice.
have an exotic bow, which
Which one? What's it called?
I don't know.
Is it the French one?
Yeah, okay, so it's the one that poisons.
Yes.
If
Yeah.
I'm
My favorite
remembering
one.
correctly.
Le Monarque.
Le Monarque. Yeah.
Sure.
Oh,
Like I literally haven't
what
looked
have
at
I
any of these
become?
names.
What have I become?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're that guy.
Yes.
Remember, you were me, where you could put the effort in,
That's
but
right.
you don't.
Man, talk about playing some stuff and turning your brain off. Doing a bunch of strikes back to back. Whew, real good.
It's a
Well,
really
and then
good
I've
way to
got-
do it, yeah.
I've
Mhm.
got this thing for the bow, which I think turns it into a masterwork bow, where I
Mhm.
basically just have to keep killing stuff with it.
Yeah.
Either I have to kill a lot of things with it, or the counter's busted because
You have to
I
kill
went
a lot
through
of
5.
things.
Okay, it's like because I went through a bunch of strikes and it's at 8% right now.
Yeah, most
It's
of
a
the
lot.
most of the catalysts require either 500 to 700 kills. So you just got to use it for a while.
Wow, that almost makes me not want to use it anymore.
Well, the thing is, like, if you love the weapon,
Yeah.
you know, 500 to 700 kills, no big deal. I'm using it all the time. If you don't, I wouldn't even bother.
I don't mind it. It's the first bow that I've ever used in this game, so it's not bad. It's just getting used to it.
Yeah, that's especially weird for a bow too.
Yeah. But it is really funny to now see dead enemies that are just like pin cushions with like all of these arrows in their head now.
Also, so your friends too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
There
what.
was many a raid has been spent filling either me or Boston full of arrows.
That's
so
right,
that
turning us
you
into
can see what it
unicorns.
looks like.
Yeah.
So that was that game. It was still fun to play with him. My next game that I played was Strangers of Paradise: Final Fantasy Origins.
Hold on,
Yes.
this is the action game with the hats.
Chaos! I want
Is
to kill
there
Chaos!
hats?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Chaos one. It's supposed to be like the Souls-like. It kind of is. This is made by Team Ninja, so
Yep.
it's got this weird mix of the UI looks like Final Fantasy VII Remake,
Hmm.
but everything else from like pick this mission on the map and play the map and all this stuff feels like Neo.
Oh, okay.
I am playing this on filthy casual mode
because
I've just beaten Elden Ring. I've just beaten Dark Souls. I don't need to be kicked in the teeth.
I put
right
in
now.
my time, thank you.
You don't need it, but you know you secretly want it.
Not right now, because this is my in-between, because I have Dark Souls 2 on deck. I have Dark Souls 3 on deck. I have Demon Souls Remake, and I have Sekiro to get to as well.
This is your palate cleanser.
Yeah, I just need chaos.
Right.
It is very funny the amount of times he says it, and the one-track mind that this guy has about like every time it comes up, it just makes me chuckle because it's just so stupid.
Gotta get that chaos.
Yeah. I have a fourth character now. You can only there can only be 3. The character that you control, Jack, and then you can switch out the other 2. You can pick your classes. I'm not going to get too in depth in this because there's a ton of systems going on, and I don't have a full grasp on everything. I'm still having issues with dodging. I am hitting circle to dodge, and that is not dodge in this game.
Oh no! Oh no! Team Ninja.
I'm still trying to remap my brain for this controller scheme.
Right.
So, but it's been pretty fun. I will have more to talk about it next time. My one note that I will leave you with is that the opening cinematic for this, once you get the title screen, is a guy walking through a wheat field, and Frank Sinatra's "I'll Do It My Way" is playing.
It's really good.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. I love it.
So yes, and yeah, okay, I'll leave it at that right now because there's like a bunch of crap, and if I'll keep talking about it anyway. So my last game, Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah.
Like
don't talk about this because everybody's talking about this, and I did pick it up for the $5 sale the other day.
How could you?
It's just like,
losing money by not picking it up.
Yeah, support the developers.
That's right.
So I just have tips for this right now because I have hit that point. I finally figured out why I've stopped playing this game, and I am continuing on past this. I get to the point where you get to Grancis, the main city,
Yeah.
and then it just kind of lets you go, which is perfectly fine. The issue is that it loads you down with so many quests to do that it doesn't really guide you to what you should do, which is fine. But the problem becomes that you have a ton of like mid to end game quests in your log now that you should not be attempting at this point in the game.
Right, and there's no like level requirement for anyone that hasn't played it. It's not like, all right, these are level 3 to 5, these are level 45 to 50. It's just like, yeah, man, this one's over here, this one's on the other side of the world, that one's down in the swamps. It's like, cool, I think.
Yeah. And then you go there, and then you get wasted. And that was the problem that I had with this game.
Gotcha.
So, working past this and trying to figure out what ones... I failed one quest so far. So, here's my tip number 1. Once you get to Grancis, do not take any of the escort missions at all.
100%.
Don't grab any of them because there is a super simple thing that you can do later. Because basically what happens is when you start an escort quest, it literally starts right then and there. Where all of a sudden there's just a person following you and you have to complete this quest.
This like merchant is like, are you accepting my quest? All right, let's go. And you're like, wait, he's going. Oh God, chase him, get him.
I did not realize this because there was a guy following me around in the town. I'm like, all right, that's weird. There must be something else going on that I'm not paying attention to.
But not out of the realm of possibility for Dragon's Dogma.
Correct.
That's
it wasn't until I left and realized that he was still following me, and now he has a health bar.
Oh no!
He got flung off a cliff and died. And then I have a little thing that pops up that says quest failed.
Right. Congratulations.
Like, what was the quest?
What am I doing?
So apparently I was supposed to take him. So, and the other thing is too, if you are not following that quest, there's no indicators on the map.
Yeah.
And there's nothing guiding you, telling you what to do. I mean, it gives you hints, but I mean, because I wasn't following that quest, I wasn't getting guide points for that guy following me. I was just getting the thing, hey, go to the Witch's Woods to go find the person that you need to find.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I felt that quest.
Yeah, I feel like that happens to everybody.
Yeah, the easy way to do this is once you get to Grancis, that's when the game, like Boston said last time, starts to open up. But the very first thing you need to do is go to an inn. There's only one. And go into your item box in there, your storage box. Because with Dark Arisen, they have a bunch of DLC weapons and armor in there for you to equip on either yourself or your pawn, which is way better than anything you can buy right now.
Wow. All right.
And if you don't need it or don't intend to use it, you can turn around and sell it for money.
Sure.
The other reason to do this is because also in that storage box, for you to fast travel in this game, there are only certain points that you can fast travel to. They're like these little stone rings, one in the main city, one at the starter city, or is what I have so far.
Yeah.
As you progress, you start getting, I forget what, they're ports something. They're basically like these tiny little obelisks that you can pick up, port keys or whatever they call them.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. You can pick up these little tiny obelisks at some point in different missions, and you can place them anywhere in the world, and they will stay there until you pick them up again.
That's right. Yeah, it's like in Diablo, it's like a town portal, where it's like, oh, you went back to town, you can go through the portal again to get back to where you were.
In order to fast travel, you need fairy stones. I think is what they're called.
I think so.
Something stone. All right. Yeah. In your storage unit, you have, I think there's 3 of them in there. Disregard those. The one that you want is the one called the Eternal Fairy Stone. It is an infinite use teleporting stone. Yeah.
Man.
You will want that because to stay at the inn at the main town, it is 500 gold. If you just port back to the starting town, it is 50 gold to stay at that inn.
Right.
More bang for your buck.
Do the math.
So, continue on to the next town, to get this stuff. That'll help you out. The reason why I keep saying to skip the escort quest is because once you do get whatever the teleporting thing that you can pick up and drop wherever you want, The way to get past those is look at the quest and see what location it wants you to bring. I think one of them you have to go to like the Shadow Fortress or something.
Yeah.
What you do is you yourself go to the Shadow Fortress without accepting the quest. And you drop that port key down, you go back and accept the quest, and you automatically teleport to that point, and quest is completed.
Yep. It drags the person along with you. It's like,
yep.
Thanks, buddy. You brought me here. And it's like, sure did, I guess.
Because the other thing that happens is once you've accepted this quest and you have somebody following you, it changes the instance of the world where there's ambushes and stuff that are set up that normally aren't there. Monsters are slightly harder than they normally are. You're fighting things that you kind of can't really be fighting right now.
Yeah, it sets along like a bunch of interesting things along the path.
Yeah, which is fine. But not when you're early game, and not when you shouldn't be taking the quest.
Look, it's a wyvern. It's like a level 35 wyvern comes in. It's like, no, boy.
So that's my tips and tricks for early starting out.
Right. That's right. Game Pro tips and tricks.
Yeah. So far, I've completed a lot of the missions, and I just got I think it was called the Wyvern Hunt Pass, so that way I can start doing main mission. It sounds like stuff.
I think that is, yeah.
Yeah, one of them was an escort mission. I skipped that one, and I did another one about a a tablet, which nobody could decrypt. So they told me to go to an area. I went to that area, and now there's like a dragon forger or whatever there, and I have a teleporting port key that I can drop anywhere now that he has.
Yeah. I remember
and that's where I'm like, all right, cool. This is further than I've ever gotten in this game so far.
Uncharted territory.
Yeah. It's like, all right, this is a good place to stop.
Yeah.
So, yes, Dragon's Dogma. I am getting there.
Yeah. It's a super cool, weird, unique thing.
Yeah, I am really looking forward to the second game because there's a lot that if just simply updating the system, like if they didn't change anything but just did quality of life stuff that we have now, that second game would be awesome.
I mean, even if you just put level requirements on these quests, that would go that would be a huge improvement.
A little bit more of an explanation for healing, because that's the other thing too.
Yes.
As you play the game, you will notice that you will have your health bar will go down, and there'll be parts that's kind of grayish white. And you can only heal with magic. You can only heal up that portion. So if there's more health beyond that grayish white part, you just don't get that back.
Yeah, like you're losing your maximum health over time.
Yeah. Unless you use a healing potion. Or if you go to the inn and sleep at night, which is what I had been doing. Or I just found out today by accident, if you level up, your health automatically refills.
Oh, okay.
So, but just like an explanation of, okay, why can't I heal this with magic? And it's kind of like the whole D&D reference of, it's like, well, that's superficial damage that you have that you can get back with magic. But the health bar that you are actually missing is like, bruises, broken bones, that kind of thing. Which still in my mind, I'm like, but I have healing magic.
But I do the magic.
Yeah. So everything's still going fine for me. But that's all I've been playing.
I finished my first run of the Final Fantasy V 4-job Fiesta. Successfully did my first run Samurai, Berserker, Geomancer, Ninja. That went super well all the way up until the final boss fight, which I wrote on Twitter is the nail-bitingest boss fight I've probably ever had in Final Fantasy V. I realized I've been playing Final Fantasy V for the better part of 30 years. This year, and I've been doing the Fiesta
my heart.
Yeah, I know. I've also been doing the Fiesta for 11 or 12 years. So to say that this one was close was very close. So that was kind of an intense one. I'm gonna try not to get too inside baseball with Final Fantasy V here because I know
do it. Break it down. I want to know the metrics.
So I started my second run, and there's a brand new type of run this year called a 375 run. And what this is there are two different runs that you could do that were currently that were in previous years, called a 750 run or a no 750 run. Where that comes from is it's essentially a 750 run. Those are magic-based classes. It's basically, you can do something kind of weird in Final Fantasy V where you can take, mages can equip rods. And like if you equip a fire rod, your fire spells are stronger. If you equip an ice rod, your ice spells are stronger, and so on. What you can do in Final Fantasy V that's really weird is you can break those rods, and it casts a tier 3 magic
Was it
spell.
like the strongest version of it or whatever?
Yeah, essentially. You can do that very early in the game. So like if you roll a black mage, you can start snapping those rods like crazy, and instead of doing 200 damage like you would do with like just an ice spell, you're just casting like Ice Aga, and it's doing 2,500 damage.
You're
So
doing
for
like god tier damage over there at level 1.
so for a lot, it's like crack, boss is dead, crack, this thing's dead. You're snapping these things like crazy. They cost 750 gold. So that's why it's called a 750 run. So every class that can break rods is a 750. If you don't want to do that, you roll a no 750 run. I've done a couple of those in the past before. They're fine. But this year you can do a 375 run, which gives you 2 magic classes and 2 non-magic classes. So I rolled one of those, and I got the hilariously overpowered run of White Mage, Mystic Knight, Bard, and Samurai. So I'm going to win this one with literally no problems. I have like 3 of the most overpowered classes possible in the game. The only thing that would make it more overpowered is if I rolled a Chemist instead of a Samurai. Mystic Knight, once you get it leveled up, literally one-shots everything. And Bard will increase your party's raw level inside of battles near the end of the game. So it's like, I went into this fight, rolling level 30, 35, and I'm ending it at level 255, and just smacking everything around. So Final Fantasy V is really great. I really love it. I talked about this. We just recorded Pup this week. It'll be out next week, but I mentioned this on Pup yesterday, that for the longest time I have not recommended people play Fiesta for the first time they play Final Fantasy V. But somebody wrote a really great comment, I think it was on Reddit a couple weeks ago, saying that they have found that some people really like doing the Fiesta for Final Fantasy V because the game has 20-something jobs. Each job has like 4 or 5 skills with it, and you can mix and match all of them. But the great part for some people with the Fiesta is, here are your 4 jobs. That it's X number of jobs, Y number of skills. You can mix and match those, but you don't have to worry about trying out all of them or mastering all of them or trying to level up any of them to see if they're interesting. You kind of have this more focused experience of Final Fantasy V, which some people like. So I think that's a really good point. So I'll sort of recommend that for people that might be interested in Final Fantasy V, but maybe are intimidated by the amount of jobs that are in there. So
look out next year for TVGP Fiesta Cast 2023.
God, don't even.
Yep, I'm out.
Don't-
I'm out. Don't even try and rope me into this one.
Don't even get me started.
I would run that thing so hard.
Yeah. The Fiesta is, I don't play Final Fantasy V the rest of the year, but I usually do a handful of runs. I did 5 runs last year, so I'll probably do around the same number of runs this year, largely just to kind of continue to see how the Pixel Remaster is. I'm about a run and a half through with Pixel Remaster at this point, and I think I still might recommend the Game Boy Advance version a little bit over this. Obviously at the end of the list is the PlayStation 1 version. It's bad in every regard, and you should not play it for any reason. But so far Pixel Remaster seems really great. I wish it was available on more things. Cough, cough, cough. Just seemingly not interested in getting a lot of money, Square, which is baffling. But if you're looking to run it, Pixel Remaster is a really good option, truthfully. My last game this week, Shadowrun returns. The Shadowrun trilogy is out on consoles. It is also on Game Pass, if anybody has been interested in this. Musa and I have been talking about this on Pup for a while because he's a big fan of all three of these, the kind of modern Shadowrun games. I've largely picked them up because he really liked them, and it seems like the things he really liked about them are things I would really like. Turns out, I like this game a lot.
Shocker.
Shocker. Shocker, I would like a CRPG that came to consoles.
That has decks for hacking and...
Oh man, a lot of decks. I have the game paused on my PS5 right now. I'm in my first... I've jacked into the Matrix for the first time, and like Musim said...
Things are weird.
It's not great. The bummer... Like, the bummer and kind of the interesting thing about Shadowrun Returns is this is not a negative, but it very clearly had a pretty small budget and a pretty small team. It is not a flashy game. It is largely, it's a CRPG, so there's a lot of text and there's a lot of decisions you're making. And you're always in like one self-contained area. It's always like, oh, here's this kind of back street area in Portland. You go do the mission you're going to do, you go to the exit, it brings you to Seattle. It's just basically like, well, we're going back to Seattle. You know, there's no overworld, there's no interstitial area, nothing like that. It's a really focused thing. Which I kind of like because not every, like Square talked about this week for Final Fantasy 16, not every RPG needs to be an open world giant 400-hour thing. Which I greatly appreciate because I will probably blow through this game in like 15 hours, which is great. So part of what I like about that is I haven't played a Shadowrun thing since the Super NES and Genesis games. So I don't know that much about Shadowrun in general. And it does a pretty good job of explaining what Shadowrun is without, like, here's the glossary of terms, here's all the slang. You know, it doesn't go that far. It's just sort of like, you're gonna pick it up. We have faith in you. You're gonna pick it up as you go along. I picked to play an elf, and I am what they call a rigger, which is essentially a drone operator / sort of hacker. Because the game is like, you can take a couple of drones with you in a battle, and I was like, yep, it's that one. Give me that one. That's immediately me. It has kind of an interesting system. I wish the UI was like a little bit better, but it's kind of hard to do everything this game does on a controller. Controls really, really well on a controller. I'm really impressed with how they did it. But it has kind of an interesting system where I go in battle and then I can kind of activate my drones. And for every drone I activate, it takes away from my action points, but I can direct control my drones in battle. It's like the very first one you have is like a little drone with some treads on it and just a giant sniper rifle on the top. It's like, yeah, I'm going to use that thing instead of my character to like snipe people all the way across the map.
So the little pea shooter thing that you got.
Yeah, I have like a tiny little handgun, and this thing has just like a cannon on it. It's like, yeah, I'm going to use the cannon. If you haven't seen Shadowrun, it's essentially like the first game. You're investigating this series of murders, and you're kind of walking around making decisions and reading a lot of text for the non-battle portion, and the battle portion is just XCOM. Like, it's just that, you know, no cover, half cover, full cover, 33% chance to hit this enemy over here, that sort of thing. So,
is that the first one you're playing? Is that the one about the dead man switch, or is that the second one?
That's the first one. Yeah,
okay.
where your best friend gets killed by essentially Jack the Ripper and had a dead man switch. And it's so far it's good. The writing is solid. Characters are interesting. It controls really well on controller. Looks really good. It had 4K mode was turned on by default, at least on the PS5 version. And so far I'm having a blast. I'm a little less crazy about the Matrix stuff that I'm going through right now, but I also have the game set on whatever the easiest difficulty is. Because when we were talking about it on Pup, Musim was kind of waffling about, all the three of these games are kind of self-contained stories, and the first one's not as good as the other two. So, do you need to play it? I don't know. And I was like, I'll play it. I'll get the basics. I'll put it on easy and just kind of blow through it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's bad compared to the other two.
Yeah, yeah. It very much seems like, here's the thing we want to make. Here's the budget and the team we have. We're gonna make as big of a thing as we can, and then it seemed like everybody was like, oh, yeah, all right, this works. Like, all right, the next Kickstarter that's doing gangbusters.
I remember too. Once you get to a certain point in the first game, like that Matrix stuff just becomes super easy.
Yeah.
But I can't remember if that was based on the class. It's been years since I've played these, so
yeah.
I remember not having a big issue like about the midpoint of the game. It was just like, oh, okay, it's just one more thing for me to knock out real quick, and look, I'm back to combat.
Yeah, it's interesting so far. I like a lot of what it's doing. I like a lot of the characters I've run into. The battles feel really good. I haven't played one of these kind of grid-based tactics games, kind of like an XCOM thing, in quite a while. So that's been kind of nice. But yeah, Shadowrun Returns, super good. If anyone wants to play it, stick it on easy. It's on Game Pass. Just it's on everything now. Only the only negative thing Musim had to say about the Switch version is as he couldn't find the option to make the text bigger on the Switch version when it's not docked, when it's in handheld mode, and that text is already pretty small. So I don't know if he wasn't able to find it or if there isn't an option. But if there's not an option, that might mean you should play it somewhere else or play it docked.
Just bust out your magnifying screen attachment. And...
Yeah, that's right. Your Game Boy, your light. Yeah, man. But that's all I'm playing this week. So let's take a break.
Yep.
Did you want to do the question from last week from, I think it was Jimbo?
Biscuits. I don't know if I have time.
Okay. Well, that's what I was asking. I didn't know.
Yeah, I'll save it. Sorry, Jimbo. Part of it is we got started late, and my wife is not only dealing with this production outage, but she's also not feeling well today. So it's kind of like it's like 4 or 5 things are all going wrong today. So we'll save that for another week. Oh man! All right. Let me look at this. Let me pull up these news stories. Okay. I'm ready if you guys are.
Yep. Yep. I did just get force-fed an ad, which was a hop and a barley, a wheat and a hop, drawn in cartoon anime style, doing the fusion dance.
My brain.
And the result was a mug of beer.
Yike. I mean, know your market, to be sure.
They know that the algorithm sure as shit figured me out. I like t-shirts and I like stupid jokes.
Yeah. I like fusion dances.
I'm not logged into a lot of things, so I still get like the generic stuff, and then every once in a while it's like, oh, here's a tampon commercial. I'm like,
oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Twitter is pissed at me because I just keep blocking all the people they keep promoting.
I do too. Yeah, I'm getting really weird ones where it's like, do you want to go to college in West Virginia? And it's like, I mean, there's a couple of things that don't really apply, but not really.
There was something that popped up that was like so far out of left field. I was like, what the fuck are you doing, Twitter?
What led you to this?
Yeah, the hilarious one for me is now it's just promoting Xbox shit to me. I think, oh, fine.
Wow. That's all right.
That look into this crystal ball stupid promoter tweet that they have.
Yeah.
That's like every 5 tweets on my timeline. It's like, okay.
It could be worse. You
just want to do Xbox? I'm fine with that.
Yeah, can't go wrong. All right. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of June 27th, 2022. Disgaea 6 Complete comes out PS4, PS5, and PC. I'm going to wipe that from my brain immediately. It just never happened.
Autobattler is really good.
Nope, it's just all static noise. Keeping myself safe. Just going back to Shadowrun Returns. DNF Duel comes out PS4, PS5, and PC. If you haven't seen that, this is a absolutely wild-looking fighting game that the fighting game community seems to really love. Wish I had more time for fighting games in general, because that looks pretty cool. Escape Academy comes out PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series consoles, and PC. I believe this is Game Pass day and date, if I remember correctly. This is that we saw that the behind the scenes in the day of the devs.
People.
Yeah, the escape room.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the arcade game company made escape rooms and is making an escape room game. This looks cool. I think this looks really neat. I'm very curious to see how reviews are on this, because this might be a fun thing for my wife and I to kind of sit down and puzzle some stuff out. Cuphead, The Delicious Last Course for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Moon's face looks like he tasted a lemon and is shaking his head. Right there with you.
That's because, number one, Cuphead is also ridiculously difficult.
Yeah.
But also, it's DLC, Delicious Last Course, DLC.
Yep. Yeah. And I feel like last there is like, wink. Also, like I said in the game club for Cuphead, I know I like it, but I don't think I love it. Like, Cuphead is fine, and I will never beat it, and that's fine. It's just not for me. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak comes out on Switch and PC. So if you're playing Rise, you got a whole bunch of new monsters to, assuming probably not befriend, assuming hunt down still. This isn't Kaichu, so you're not smooching them yet, as far as I know.
You don't know. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I'm not a Monster Hunter guy. Like, I don't know if you that's just like that's your first date, is just going out and hunting them, and then you smooch. Who knows?
There is a reason why you climb all over those monsters, I'm telling you.
That's right. Outriders World Slayer comes out PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series console, Stadia, and PC. This is Outriders' first full expansion. Has like a new bad guy, the icy part of the planet. It looks cool. Outriders still looks cool. Like, that seems like a cool game, and I have just never gotten around to playing any of it, even though I would probably like it.
Super generic is all.
Well, and I like People May Fly. I think the stuff that they make is super cool, but I never got around to it. And then a wild release here at the end that is genuinely coming out. The Legend of Bumbo comes out PS5, Series X, and Switch. Which... Yeah, you want to talk about a fraught development, a game that barely came out because its lead developer, not designer, but developer, had like a total meltdown as that game was coming out. And we played that on We Were Like at the original release, and it was not good. that was a rough time. I know they've patched it a whole bunch, and it is apparently a much different game now. But that remains to be seen, because I haven't played it since. So we'll see. We'll see someday, probably. Let's move on to news stories here. Bungie wins a crazy YouTube takedown lawsuit. So a number of months ago, somebody who's impersonating essentially like the group that Bungie uses to take down copyrighted material for Destiny on YouTube. Someone was impersonating that group. I think it's like CSC.
Oh, was it the guy that made the fake Bungie email addresses and sent all the DMCAs to YouTube?
So that's this lawsuit. So essentially, a number of months ago, like, a bunch of big Destiny YouTubers got hit by this, and it was suddenly like, essentially Bungie uses this group to take down soundtrack music from Destiny. They upload it to their own channel, so they're just like, don't put it up for your channel, just listen to it on theirs, which, sure, that's fair. But that group was starting to reach out to YouTube and say, like, well, all these famous Destiny YouTubers, even if it's not that sort of thing, we're hitting them with takedowns. And Bungie was like, bro, that's not us. Like, what do you like? They're reviewing a gun in Destiny. This doesn't matter.
Yeah. I had read that one of their own videos on their own YouTube channel got hit with a DMCA as well.
Yeah, like a bunch of people. So what eventually happened is, we're not going to name the person's name here, because I'm not interested in like starting a witch hunt or anything. But essentially, this one Destiny YouTuber uploaded, I think it was like the entirety of Beyond Light's soundtrack. So that channel got knocked 20 times for uploading all those tracks. So what this person thought they would do was create a bunch of fake Bungie CSC at gmail.com addresses and then start sending those to YouTube as like retaliation against getting struck down on his own channel, and start hitting a ton of Destiny YouTubers. Bungie rather quickly found out what the problem was and worked with YouTube to like restate it months and months and months ago. And now the lawsuit has come out, and they're hitting this guy for $7.6 million, and saying like, man, you just did something really dumb, lashing out after doing something kind of dumb in the first place. Like, you can argue the DMCA and YouTube has not been, to put it very mildly, has not been a good combo for anybody. But like, you did the thing that has struck down so many YouTube channels over history, and then you got mad about it. And instead of just like taking the L, you're like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to fake a bunch of email addresses. Like, bro, come on, man.
Yeah.
So.
And he didn't cover his tracks at all from what because it pretty much sounded like Bungie reached out to YouTube, who is owned by Google, who then reached out to Google, and they tracked his IP and
it's like, hey, it's that guy.
Yeah,
he used his real name when he signed up for the email address.
If we really want to.
Yeah, they never cover their tracks, man.
Yeah.
Never. Oh, so good.
That's why my phone doesn't connect to wireless networks outside of my house.
Yeah, like.
Yep.
The next news story here, though, is a much better news story. Hey, remember Into the Breach? One of the best strategy/puzzle games that's ever been made. It's getting a big update. The Advanced Edition. Gonna have a whole bunch of new squads, weapons, pilot abilities, enemies, bosses, missions. Somehow an even more challenging difficulty mode, which should not be allowed.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Why not?
More music by Ben Prunty, which is great. That comes out for free on all platforms on July 19th. I just call it what the difficulty is called. It's called Unfair. Great. That's,
well,
right on the tin.
If it fits.
Yeah. So that'll come out. If you haven't played Into the Breach, you really should. It's genuinely really good. Also, it's coming to iOS and Android as part of Netflix. So if you wanted to take your problem with you on the go and you don't have a Switch, now you can play it on iOS and Android through Netflix. So I probably won't be doing that because I probably won't be doing anything else if I have Into the Breach on my phone.
Yeah, the problem is, isn't this coming to consoles soon too?
There's nothing here as part of this announcement, but it would be really nice if it would come to, at least like PS4 and Xbox One. Obviously, you can't put FTL on consoles because that's so mouse driven. And that iPad version seemed to be kind of okay. But yeah, if Into the Breach was available on consoles, that'd be a real problem. I wouldn't play very many other things.
And if they keep up with releasing games with Netflix, I'm gonna have to figure out how to actually get to those games. Yeah,
I was able to. The Netflix app on my phone updated at some point, and there was just a games tab, and if there isn't, I was able to search for the game name. It's like, oh yeah, here's Point B. It's like, oh, okay, great. So, or you can probably search the store too, like your platform store. But yeah, more Into the Breach is great. More people being able to play Into the Breach, especially for essentially free, is really great. Go play Into the Breach. It's very good. That's all our news stories this week. We're sort of out of time here, which means that's the end of our episode this week. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page, including the YouTube channel. We had a little bit of problems streaming today for who knows what systems gremlins caused some frame rate drops today, but the YouTube video should be fine. So you can check that out over there. And like I've been mentioning lately, if we don't live stream something, I'm still recording video of it. So like we didn't live stream Pup yesterday, but I still got a video of that. So all that stuff goes on the YouTube channel. And you can also check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/E1M1.
Ones are the bars.
Don't forget to sign up at the $5 tier or higher to get everything, like the production meeting, the Outcast, all that stuff. We appreciate any financial support that you can afford us, because I don't have to worry about paying for hosting. I was talking about this recently. I don't use a host that like automatically injects ads for Manscaped to make sure that my hosting is free. So you don't have to worry about that. And that means that the chapter markers work too. Also, I've been doing chapter markers for a couple of months here. If your podcatcher doesn't support the chapters, you should check out one that does. So you can just skip by. Every time we talk about Destiny 2, you just skip right to the next chapter. I won't take it personally. I appreciate that you listen to the show. You don't have to listen to us talk about Destiny 2. I understand. But your financial support means we don't have to worry about going out and getting a HelloFresh advertisement or anything like that. The cost is just covered that way. So we sincerely appreciate your financial support. If you can't support us financially, totally understand. The best way to support us is by telling a friend, sharing on social media, going like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. That stuff genuinely does help. I know it is a meme, but that stuff does really help a ton, and we do really appreciate it. We also really appreciate you listening to the show. Thank you very much. And we'll... go ahead.
And please help whenever you can share it. The sharing and everything helps more people become patrons, which means eventually Boston plays scary games.
That's right. We got a whole docket of scary stuff to play.
I am fine throwing myself out there onto the bonfire with you, Boston, to play the Dark Pictures anthology series.
Yeah, play some co-op Quarry. That's right. It's cats going nuts. But yes, please go. $250 a month is the overall goal we're shooting for with me playing some scary games, because at that point I start saving up for new equipment, new computers, mixers and microphones and things like that. All of that stuff would go a long way to kind of making sure that this show continues to look and sound good, and making sure that Moon has a working computer. All the little stuff, you know.
Yep, the little things.
Yeah, no big deal. All right, thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Meow.
Jesus, cat.
It's chaos hour. Jeez.
She's like just woke up and decided that I needed to love her now.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, all right. I have titles.
All right. Hit me.
I have want to see these hands. I want to know the metrics. 730 run. Rolling in 30s. And TVGP Fiesta cast.
Oh God. Fiesta cast. All right, Moon, what do you have?
A cautionary tale. Head shake and a beefy game, chaos and anarchy, JRPG land, grinding for something, ? What have I become? The chaos one, and what was the quest?
Grinding for something. Question mark. We were having fun. Want to see these hands? TVGP Fiesta Cast, A Cautionary Tale, JRPG Land, and Grinding for something? Is there anything that stands out here?
Not especially.
A lot of these are solid, but there's no one that's like, yes, this is the one.
Oh. I like grinding for something, but I think it should be grinding for ellipses something.
Oh, okay. So grinding for ... something ? Question mark.
Oh.
I think that's fair. I kind of like that better with the ellipses there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
You're gonna have some awesome wave formats.
It's so just like I see like a tail and then ting. Like I just that's so good. All right, let me know when you're ready.
All right, remind me, what one are we doing?
Grinding for something.
Okay, something. Okay, something.
Googling Destiny 2 weapon names. I see Moon Googling something.
I'm specifically looking for one thing, but I can't remember the name of it, and I don't want to say it out loud because that will spoil it. But it's not an actual thing. It's something. Yeah, whatever.
I'm ready.
Is it a weapon or something in the game?
It's something in the game.
Okay. Can we play Guess Who?
No. There we go. I got it.
Okay.
No, you may not, sir.
That's right. Vetoed. All right, both you guys are good?
Yeah.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 766 for June 27th, 2022. Grinding for something?
Dilemma, planetary materials, spoils of conquest.
My son just keeps yelling God roll.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for listening to us talk about Destiny. I appreciate it. But also, thank you for listening and watching. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.